Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about the top 10 things I wish I knew before I started playing NGS. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So the very first thing I want to go over are all the different controls. So when you go to systems over here, you go to options, and under the control tab, there are a lot of options here that you can mess around with. The first thing I change is the lock on target priority settings. Over here, most people are actually going to prefer character direction number 2, where it prioritizes weak points and enemies at the direction that your character is facing and that are the closest. However, for me personally, I actually prefer character direction 1 because 2 just doesn't work very well for me. Plus, I played this game so much already that I know where all the weak points are. However, if you're a relatively new player and you don't know where the enemy weak points are, especially against new bosses and urgent quests, you might want to keep it on direction 2. The next thing I changed almost immediately is back palette switching to single press. By default, it's going to be hold down key / button. I do not like this simply because my fingers get tired and I'm very lazy, so I prefer to keep it as single press. For those who don't know what the back palette actually is when I open up my weapon palette over here, you can see I've got 3 photon arts over here and I've got another 3 photon arts back here. However, when you're fighting in the open field or in a combat zone or in a boss fight, normally if you play with mouse and keyboard, you have to hold down the shift button to switch over to your back palette, as you can see right here on the bottom middle part of my screen. But for me, I simply just need to tap the shift button and it'll just stay on whatever palette I'm on, whether it be the back palette or the front palette. The next thing is double tapping to dodge. This is for mouse and keyboard players. If you're a controller player, you literally have a trigger button that allows you to dodge, so you can just spam that button over and over. However, if you are playing on mouse and keyboard, you can double tap a direction in order to do a dodge. However, if you don't like that, you can actually disable it altogether, so you don't need to worry about it. I keep it on at long interval because I actually prefer to double tap for some weird reason. I'm just strange like that. The next thing I changed is the diving attack with simultaneous button inputs. I immediately disabled this. This is because when you're in the air, especially when you're a melee class, there are a lot of really big bosses that require you to traverse aerial combat basically. And if you have diving attack with simultaneous button inputs enabled, if you accidentally hold down spacebar and press the normal attack key, you will slam straight into the ground and do a ground pound attack. I do not like this, so I disable it altogether. Another thing I disable is auto wall kick. So this basically allows you to do a triple jump when you kick off the wall. So you just do a regular double jump into the wall, and if this is enabled, you'll automatically wall kick off the wall as long as you're running into it. I don't like this. I prefer to keep it on manual, which means that even if I run into a wall, I need to manually press the jump key in order to wall kick off it. Another thing I have changed is also the display rare drop animations. So this is when you get a rare item, you get this beautiful symbol saying rare drop, and I like having that on. However, I have adjusted the rarity settings to the drop animations for weapons and armors to 9-star rarity and above, as well as items to 9-star rarity and above. So whenever I see the actual rare drop symbol, I know it's going to be some ultra rare item. Now, if you prefer to lower the rarities, you can do so. You can go all the way down to 4-star rarities if you want, but just keep in mind, if you have it down at 4-star rarities, you're going to be seeing this rare drop symbol a lot. Another question I get a lot is, Carol, how do you see your critical hit numbers? Because a lot of people see the B-roll of my footage, and whenever I get a critical hit, it's a bright yellow number. What you want to do is come to systems, go to options, go to gameplay, and scroll around halfway down the list, and right here there's critical damage highlight display. By default, it's going to be highlight 1, which just enlarges the number when you get a critical strike. However, you want to change it to highlight 2, where it enlarges the number and adds effect. So it changes the number to a bright yellow number, so you know that you hit a critical strike. So this is what I do. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about are my graphic settings. A lot of people ask me about, hey Carol, how do you make your game look so good? And well, I use an NVIDIA graphics card, so I do have access to DLSS. However, if you're on team AMD, don't worry, there is FSR 1.0 support as well. So for me, I just simply go to DLSS, I turn things to quality, and I'm done. That's literally all I do. I don't change anything else. I play the game on 1440p, so that is a 2K resolution, and I'm using a 3060 Ti. I personally kept my frame rate at 60 FPS even though I have a 165Hz monitor. The reason for this is simply because my graphics card can't actually go to 165 even with DLSS turned on. I prefer my game to just look pretty and just keep it at 60 FPS because that's more than enough for me. Now, another great addition to the game is of course cel shading. So a lot of people have been wondering, hey Caro, how do you get cel shading to look like yours? Yours kind of looks like a Genshin Impact type of theme. And well, you can enable cel shading in the graphics over here under the character cel shading. Once you enable this, you want your outline emphasis at 26 and your shadow density at 39, and this will make the cel shading look very Genshin Impact-like. The next thing I want to talk about is streamer mode, so you can simply go over here to systems over here, streamer mode, and turn this on. Once streamer mode is turned on, it's going to hide a lot of the chat bubbles, people aren't going to be able to DM you, and it's just going to make life super easy if you are planning to stream this game, because there are a lot of symbol arts, there are a lot of lewd things that can happen in the game. There could be people talk about inappropriate things in chat and stuff like that. If you have streamer mode turned on, you are covered. It's going to hide everything, and yeah, you're going to be safe on Twitch or YouTube or whatever platform you decide to stream on. The next thing I want to talk about is showing your alliance badge as well as your character names as well as alliance names. How on earth do you do that? What you need to do is access the quick menu by simply pressing F2 on your keyboard. Now, if you're on controller, I believe it is your select key, so the one next to your start key on the left side. I think that is what brings up the quick menu. And once you bring up the quick menu over here, there is toggle character overhead display. You click on this and you can actually hide everything, so there's no names at all. You can have just your character names. You can even display your HP and PP bar, and this actually applies to everyone, so you're going to be able to see how healthy all of your other teammates are, how much photon power they have left, and all of that detail. So if you are playing a support class, this is incredibly useful, so you know when to heal people. But for me personally, I just have alliance and character name enabled so that I can see what alliance people are in as well as their character name, so that's what I keep it on. Now, while we're at the quick menu over here, you can see over here you can press shift to swap and edit the layout. As you can see over here, I'm on customize layout 1. As a free-to-play player, you get this layout for free. However, if you are a premium member, you get access to 3 additional layouts. But to be perfectly honest, you only need 1 layout. So the nice thing about being able to edit your quick menu over here is you can have all of the different functions that you normally use very often over here. So for example, run chat macros. Maybe I don't need that. I can go to edit over here and I can click on whatever I don't want and actually delete it. So I can remove all of the things that I don't use over here, like change friend messages. I don't need that. Share location with party. Sure, maybe I'll need that. So you can customize your quick menu so that it's much easier to navigate and gain access to certain things that you want to do. So for example, let's say that I want to do an emote. I can simply go to my quick menu over here, perform emotes, and find the emote that I want to do right here very easily. So let's say that, I want to do the Asuna sword skill and pa 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 pa. Super easy. Very easy to navigate through all of my different emotes. Another thing is maybe my mag settings over here. Maybe I want to enable my mag, so you can all see my Hatsune Miku over here. Or maybe I want to disable it. Again, I just go right here, boom, done. Another question I get asked frequently is how do I hide my UI? So there's a command called /UI off. Now over here, you can set the time between 1 second to 600 seconds. So let's say that I decide to type 600 and boom, my UI will turn off for 600 seconds, which is 10 minutes. But let's say I want my UI back. All you need to do is activate your quick menu again and boom, your UI is back, okay? Now pressing escape, going into the map, pressing all the different hotkeys won't do anything. Your UI is still going to be hidden. So it's very important to bring back the UI. You just activate your quick menu and yeah, your UI is going to return. Now another common question I get asked a lot is, Caro, how do you have these little symbols on your map that tell you where all the alpha reactors are or where all the vegetables and stuff like that? And I actually manually placed all of these little waypoints. So in order to put waypoints and symbols and stuff like that, what you want to pay attention to is at the bottom of your screen over here. As you can see, the second option says place waypoint. And for my mouse and keyboard players, you simply press R and right here you get a pin. So what you can do is you can actually switch it to icon over here and you can change the icon to whether you want it as a gem, a vegetable, a fruit, seafood, whatever you want over here, even a rappy symbol. So for this case, we're going to change it to the diamond over here and then we're actually going to type more valuables. So once you type that, you can place icon and voila, now we have this little icon with valuables. Now if you want to remove it, again, we're just going to press R on our keyboard and you can remove the icon and poof, it's gone. Now if you're playing on PlayStation, it's going to be the square key. As you can see right here, it says place waypoint. point, you click square and it's going to be the exact same thing. And last but not least, if you're playing on Xbox, it is the X key. Now, if you're wondering how I change those symbols without actually plugging in a controller, you simply go to Systems over here and go to Control Settings, and right here at Control Display Type. So by default, it's going to be mouse and keyboard because I play with mouse and keyboard. However, if you want to change it to PlayStation, you go to Symbols. If you want it as Xbox symbols, you switch it to letters. And if you're using a third-party controller, you can always switch it to numbers. The next tip I have for you guys is to always do your dailies as well as your weeklies. Your dailies is going to be your main source of income. As you can see over here, complete daily task. Every single day, you are guaranteed to get 130,000 N Meseta for just completing your daily task. So if you just do your dailies every single day for an entire week, you are guaranteed 910,000 Meseta. And that doesn't include any farming at all, because your dailies literally take less than 10 minutes to do. It's super, super easy, very, very fast to do. Now, while you're doing your dailies every single day, don't forget about the weeklies. It's pretty much impossible to complete all of your dailies every single day without completing the weeklies, because one of your weeklies is literally to kill 1,000 enemies, and you're going to get the same quest every single day on your dailies, which require you to go defeat enemies. So you're going to complete this one, which gives you another 50,000. Complete urgent quest. You just need to complete 3 urgent quests throughout the entire week. That's super easy as well. Another 50,000 Meseta. You need to clear a bunker type quest over here. It tells you what it is. This rotates every single week. So as you can see, this week it is complete ordinal tower. Keep in mind, you don't need to do the highest difficulty of whatever it asks you to do. So for example, when it tells you to do the ordinal tower, what you can do is you can actually go all the way down to rank 1. So these are level 15 mobs, and you're gonna blast through it in like 10 seconds. I literally do this 3 runs on rank 1. All of the mobs are level 15. I'm level 75. I sneeze in their general direction and they explode. So this is really easy. And the last set of weeklies that also give you Meseta as well as star gems is simply complete 25 dailies. So within 5 days of completing your dailies, you're going to complete this one as well. And these 4 weeklies combined is going to give you another 200,000 Meseta. So just by completing your dailies as well as your weeklies, every single week you get 1.11 million Meseta every single week, just from literally spending 10 to 15 minutes every single day logging in, doing this stuff. It's a very, very solid source of income. So please make sure that you actually do it, because it's a lot of free money for very little effort. And last but not least, when you're chilling in town, more often than not, you're going to see people with some really cool emotes, and you might be wondering, hey, what emote is that? So if we go to Rushia over here, she's got this really nice emote with the cat, so I'm wondering what it is. What you want to do is click on them, go to communications, and do impersonate. So if you impersonate them, you're going to copy their emote. And you can see over here, I'm copying the exact same emote, but if you don't have the emote, it's going to tell you what the emote's name is. So you can see over here that, yay, we're playing with the cat. And on top of that, it's actually going to sync your animation with the person you're impersonating. So let's say that you're trying to do a dance video or something, and you want everyone in the backdrop to have the exact same dance that's totally synced up, then you can just have one person do the dance and everyone impersonate that person. And the moment that person changes to a different emote, everyone else is going to switch to that emote as well simultaneously. So that is a very nice way to make music videos and stuff like that. But let's say I want to impersonate someone, but there's too many people standing around them. How do I click on them? Well, what you can do is go to communications, go to nearby players over here, and find the player name that you want to impersonate. So as we can see, we want to impersonate this person right here. We go to communications and impersonate. Now what's going to happen over here is I don't actually have her dance, so I'm going to get an error message that you're going to see pop up relatively soon. You haven't learned dance 20 and therefore you can't perform it. So what is going to happen is I'm going to need to go to the player shop, or I'm going to need to obtain dance 20 in order to impersonate people with specific dances. Now keep in mind, not all emotes are available on the player market or through AC scratches and stuff like that. Some of them were limited time runs, so specific dances and specific emotes are going to be limited in stock. So just keep that in mind.
Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.